On October 6th of 2025, the alert level was raised for a section of the volcano that comprises the Azores island of Terceira, and this change was made due to the specific detection of an intruding magma at a mere 3 kilometers or 1.9 miles below sea level, fairly shallow in other words. For reference, the entire island of Terceira is a singular volcano, but the local volcano monitoring agencies subdivide this one volcano into 3 areas, which each are assigned a distinct alert level. Each of these areas occur on a specific fissure that runs through and offshore of both sides of the island. We have the Serreta submarine ridge, which exclusively produces submarine eruptions and last erupted in 2000, the towering central Santa Barbara stratovolcano, which last erupted in 1400, and the Terceira fissural volcanic system, which last erupted in 1761. This is my interpretation of what each level on the V0 to V6 alert level scale means. And now, here are each of the current alert levels in each of these 3 areas. The section whose alert level was just raised was the Terceira fissural volcanic system, although the unrest that caused this change is confined to the narrow region on the east flank of the Santa Barbara stratovolcano. This recent activity, including an increased rate of earthquakes there and beneath Santa Barbara during the last 4 months, represents an unrest related to the confirmed intrusion of magma beneath its highest peak. This unrest had been ongoing since March of 2021, resulting in an ever-increasing number of earthquakes and even detectable ground deformation at the Santa Barbara peak. Yet, after activity peaked in May of 2024, it slowly declined along with other geophysical readings, resulting in the lowering of Santa Barbara's alert level. To me, it really did seem like the unrest had nearly come to an end, and then it suddenly reversed. I want to note that this chart showing the number of recent earthquakes is potentially misleading. This chart only shows the number of non-micro earthquakes to more clearly show an increasing energy trend where it exists. For example, if we were to include micro-earthquakes, the actual figure in September 2025 was about 2,000 quakes. While still lower than the number experienced during May 2024, it is the highest since then if we include these smaller magnitude events in our total. And now, here is why I interpret this to be occurring. Here is a brief sequence of events showing what may have happened beneath the Santa Barbara edifice from 2021 to 2024. Then, as this same magma began to solidify at around 3.5 kilometers depth at Shallowest, a portion of the deeper magma in said chamber began to head eastwards. Intruding through cooling older magma, it eventually entered the underground conduits and plumbing associated with Terceira's fissural volcanic system. Since then, magma has risen from what I interpret started at a depth of 5 kilometers to 3 kilometers depth. While I have been unable to confirm exactly where this magma is at Shallowest, I suspect it is about 2/3 to 3/4 of the distance between Santa Barbara's summit and the 2 trachyte lava domes that erupted in 1761. We don't know the composition of this magma, but if it is anything like the volcano's prior eruptions, it could range from basalt to trachyte. Regardless, it does appear as though much of the intruding magma into Santa Barbara's underlying magma chamber is now being redirected to the east. However, uplift is still occurring at Santa Barbara, just at a notably lower rate than beforehand. You might be wondering if, since magma has advanced upwards 2 kilometers in 17 months, if we could extend that rate to see when the next eruption might happen. While that would translate to magma reaching the surface in February 2028, you can ignore this figure because that is not how magma intrusions work. Regardless, in my opinion, there is not an imminent risk of a new eruption occurring on the island at the present. However, it is worth scientists keeping an eye on for the next few years since the potential risk area has changed for where an unlikely future eruption in the next decade might occur. Yet, by far, the most likely outcome of this unrest is that no eruption will end up happening on Terceira during that time span.